He's trying to free up jobs that's been taken over by illegal immigrants. And you guys don't want that. Meaning the liberal, the socialist, the Marxist party. You got a lot of folks that's leaving that party. Oh, yes, you do. People that got skin color like me, done hauled ass from the socialist Marxist party called the Democrats.
By late August, President Donald Trump had made up his mind to send ICE into Chicago. Now, this will be a little bit more difficult than Washington, D.C. or even Memphis. And the reason is that Chicago is a sanctuary city, which means that people like illegal immigrants have a lot more leeway in sanctuary cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, New York City, pretty much making it more difficult for federal agents to subdue them. But despite the difficulty that ICE may face, President Trump sent them in anyway. So the mayor responded like this.
Are you prepared to defend this land that was built by slaves, a land that was built by indigenous people, a land that is built by workers? Are you prepared to defend this land? The people united will always prevail. I need you all to stand firm, to stand strong if this president decides to continue to break this Constitution.
Now, many can take that rah-rah sort of speech as inciting violence against the officers, but that didn't stop them from coming. And they did. Fast forward. The day is September 30th, 2025 in the South Shore neighborhood in the south side of Chicago. It is predominantly black, with over 92% of the residents being historically known as African American or Black American. And then this happened.
ICE is now going after and detaining all black people in Chicago, including Black Americans, regardless of your citizenship status and regardless if you are native to this country.
Now, this guy covering this is saying that, Black Americans are being detained by ICE. And he wasn't lying.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Pertissue Fisher says she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face. They asked my name and my date of birth and asked me, did I have any warrants? And I told them no, I didn't.
She says she was then handcuffed and released around 3 a.m.
Now, the lady says she was treated as if she was nothing, but that's not all.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
Then you have another sister who even said that one of the officers was disrespectful to the kids in the community. Adding this all up is a bigger protest from ICE to be put out of Chicago because now they're targeting Black Americans. But are they targeting Black Americans because they're targeting Black Americans? I mean, Black Chicago has been there for over 100 years. I mean, if they wanted to get rid of black people, why didn't they send in ICE a long time ago? I mean, hey, it just makes sense. Chicago is already the most racially divided city as it is. So why is ICE coming into black communities? And I'll tell you why. You see, what they don't want to tell you is a lot of those migrant shelters are being put in black communities. Even a lot of the Hispanic aldermen, they want ICE out of their cities too. But guess what they don't want? They don't want those migrant shelters in their communities. Example, Alderman Lopez or Jesse Fuentes, both Hispanic and want nothing to do with migrant shelters in their communities. So then these migrant shelters come into the black community, and then some of these migrants are running around and then they're in the black community. So that's where they end up, in the black communities. And of course, you got people who've been complaining about this the entire time.
Elected officials swears an oath to serve their constituents and uphold the Constitution. Brandon Johnson has failed. He's dismissed that oath in his obsession with keeping Chicago a sanctuary for illegal aliens. He's driven our city into $1 billion deficit, handed out shady non-bid contracts, and funneled over $6 million into services for illegal aliens.
And then you have Black Americans who are supporting this.
Black people in Chicago, let's get this clear for the record so nobody is confused, right? In 2020 and 2021, when Democrats, specifically Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, flooded Chicago with the illegal, undocumented criminal invaders, y'all didn't have nothing to say about that, right? When the mayor, Lori Lightfoot, gave them benefits, millions, prepaid EBT cards with $10,000 on it, prepaid Visa cards, 6 months worth of free rent, free healthcare, free childcare. Y'all were okay with that. And then you all continue to be okay with it by going out and voting for Kamala Harris to continue what she was doing with the open borders, right? Now that ICE is there to actually do something about it, right? With Trump's mandate, now you all are boohoo, whining and crying, complaining that ICE is coming to black neighborhoods. What the hell is wrong with y'all? Where else are they supposed to go when that's where y'all allowed them to go? You see, Democrats didn't put these illegals in Oak Brook or Oak Park or Evanston, in any of the white neighborhoods, yet you got the white liberals downtown protesting to keep those people there because they know that they're in black neighborhoods.
This young brother is on fire. And yes, you do have some Black Americans on the left that are against ICE. And that is because, number one, the Black community's relationship with the police have always been, an antagonizing force to the Black community. And also because, these migrants are close to our issues, so we must support them and we must have solidarity because that's what they're telling us. Hey, ICE is now gonna come and get you because they're looking for us. But what they're not talking about is the reason why ICE is there in the first place is because the Joe Biden administration let all these illegals in there. But again, tying our issues to their issues, and now we must be in solidarity with Hispanic migrants and the other migrants out there. But we already know that being in solidarity with migrants is not a good look for Black people because once they get on, they're not in solidarity with us.
He's right,
And then there's also been call outs toward the politicians in the community.
I see it all day long because we were just hollering last year, just a year ago, about these immigrants coming in taking resources from the indigenous people. We were just hollering about this. But now you see people that look like me out there helping these motherfuckers. Like, you gotta be getting paid. You gotta be paid and brought for. You have to be. For you to go against your own fucking damn people. We were just talking about this last year. And people, act like they forgot. You act like you forgot what went on last year. And the thing that what really was behoops me is you don't see no other race out there. You don't see no other race out there. No white, no Chinese, no motherfucking goddamn Arab. You you don't see them. The only people that you really see out there is our people. Because the other races of people know what's going on.
Now, this lady is candid, but she's telling it how it is. Look at all of these people who are on their side. You're against the Black community, and then you must be bought and paid for. Let's go back to Brandon Johnson. A person fighting to keep this going on has to be bought and paid for. He is from, allegedly, the west side of Chicago. That's what he got into office on. Even in that first clip, he was talking about, the home of the slaves who built this country. That's interesting because you definitely don't care about them now and you're caring about these migrants. But why is he doing it? It has to be some level of incentive. There is no reason why a person that is voted in by a Black population, or at least a strong Black population, then turn around and completely discard that Black population for people he don't know. It gotta be money involved in that. And so now what Brandon Johnson is doing is because the ICE raids are getting so strong, he's gonna do this.
Now the mayor, taking a page out of President Trump's playbook, signs a city executive order declaring, quote, ICE-free zones. So that means that public property cannot be used for federal agents to stage immigration raids. It also provides signage for private businesses that would also like to establish themselves as ICE-free.
The fact is, we cannot allow them to rampage throughout our city with no checks or balances. Nobody is above the law. If we break the law, you should be held accountable. If Congress will not check this administration, then Chicago will.
That's right. That's called an ICE-free zone, okay? So these are particular places where ICE allegedly cannot go, but I don't think that's constitutional and it can't stand. So the black community is responding like this.
Brandon Johnson wants to talk about protecting democracy, but he's been silent while our own residents, black Chicagoans, taxpayers, seniors, and police officers are being assaulted, ignored, and displaced. Let's be clear. ICE agents were responding to a crisis created by Johnson's sanctuary city policies, the same failed policies that opened our borders, bankrupted our budgets, and put every Chicagoan at risk. Now he's trying to rewrite the story and act like a hero after he sold this city out to federal contracts and cartel-backed interests. You can't claim to defend the Constitution when you violated your own residents' First Amendment rights, silenced whistleblowers, and allowed lawlessness to run the streets.
Ultimately, Brandon Johnson is trying to use this as a reason to push his approval rating up. As a mayor, he's terrible. If he can go against Trump, if he can go against the ICE raids, and ICE won't be there for long, he'll look like a man of the people in the liberal left. But I dare you to go and look at what's going on in Oakland, California right now. Liberal policies are destroying the country. Not only destroying the country, it's destroying the black community. Businesses leave, and we know Chicago is great for that. I mean, look at what happened in Oakland. The A's left, I believe. The Raiders left. The Warriors left. Okay? Nobody wants to be in a place in liberal policies where anything goes. And that's what they want to turn Chicago into. And at the same time, they want to replace blacks with everybody else. And then also, eventually, not at the same time, Brandon Johnson will be discarded, just like what happened with Eric Adams out in New York City. Eric Adams was using the same playbook until the heat got on his ass, and now they're replacing him with somebody more radical. So his career is completely destroyed, and now Brandon Johnson next election will be next. So what does that got to tell you? What does that mean? Selling out your community for a few bucks ultimately is a bad decision because you end up being discarded along with everything else and the train keeps going. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy Oshae Duke Jackson here on Kanganda. I'm out.